The purpose of this presentation, created for EDU 587 at Georgetown College under the leadership of Dr. Brody, is to share some insight with you in how a student's heritage culture can impact their English language acquisition, to show the advantages of bilingualism, and to explain how educators create a culturally responsive learning environment. We will do this by first taking a closer look at Chile's culture. Located in South America, Chile is south of Peru and west of Bolivia and Argentina. It's 2,670 miles long, and at its widest point is only 217 miles. The Andes mountain range covers nearly one-third of the country. Some other interesting facts are that it has claim to the driest place on Earth, the Atacama Desert, and in the heart of Chile, there's about 700 miles of densely populated arable land. Finally, Chile is also the world's most southernmost country that is connected to mainland. A rich and fascinating history, including how it came to be named. The most accepted view is that Chile is derived from a native word that means the land where the earth ends. Native Americans inhabited the country first, and Magellan was the first European to see it. Later, the Spanish arrived, and nearly 100 years of warfare between the Native Americans and Spanish conquerors occurred, but eventually the Spanish dominated and declared their independence in 1810. As for the most recent political history, a Marxist was elected president in 1970, and then followed Augustus Pinochet Ugarte, who became the dictator in 1973. During his reign, the military tightly controlled the people, all political parties were banned, and he suspended the Constitution as well as dissolved Congress. However, his government did help the economy and greatly improved education, from which the country still sees the benefits today. Because of this, there is much divide amongst Chileans, or Chilenos, about his rule. In 1989, he allowed a new president to be voted into office and returned the government back to the people. The current president, Michelle Bachelet, won her second term with 62% of the vote in 2014 and was the first woman elected to the office. By 2050, the population is expected to reach 20.2 million people, with 40% living in Greater Santiago. Chile's economy continues to prosper. Chile leads the world in exports of copper, and it's the fifth largest exporter of wine, which also contributes to its success. Chile exports fruit and vegetables to many parts of the world, including the United States. One of the most intriguing and dangerous parts of living in Chile would be their 500 active volcanoes. In 1960, a 9.5 earthquake was registered, and it's the largest one on record on Earth since 1900. In addition to earthquakes, Chile's varying climates play a role in its national identity. Many Chileans believe that the existence of cold winters shape a laborious and foreseeing people. They also generally dislike and distrust everything that can be classified as hot or tropical because they think these elements encourage laziness. Moving into Chile's culture, the national language is Spanish. There are sharp distinctions among social classes, and Chilean Spanish is identifiable by its distinctive melody. Chileans also speak very fast, and terminal consonants are often not even spoken. They also often add the suffix ito or ida, meaning little, to the end of words. Education in Chile is valued, and there are many options, such as city schools, subsidized schools, and entirely private schools. Children attend school from preschool through high school, and many go on to complete some level of college or technical school. The school year usually runs from March to November, and students wear uniforms that I'd call upscale casual. In schools, working on projects and having cross-curricular lessons is the norm. And thanks to the successful educational system, Chile boasts a 98% literacy. Some schools are religious-based, given the fact that the majority religion in Chile is Christianity, with 70% being Roman Catholic. Religion also plays a role in their social and political lives. Divorce was illegal until 2005, and abortion is still being debated, with recent legislation proposing for changes. Chile has social class structure and shows the second worst distribution of wealth in the entire region after Brazil. The richest 10% of the population obtains 46.1 of the national income, while the poorest 10% gets only 1.4%. However, a middle class has developed over the last 30 years and now accounts for nearly half of the population. Classes are fluid, so it's possible to move up or down based on salary, but because external appearances are so important, Chileans present themselves in the best possible way. During this course, I had the opportunity to meet with an immigrant family from Santiago, Chile, who moved to the U.S. last fall. We discussed Chile's culture, the differences between the U.S. and Chile, as well as her dreams for her grown children. Notice how the home decor is full of vibrant colors. During our visit, she shared with me her values and her beliefs and her dreams and goals for her children. She shared with me that it's important to be happy no matter your circumstances and to work for what you have. And her important values were trustworthiness, honesty, loyalty, compassion, and tolerance for others. Her dreams for her children included marrying in their future and finishing at least a technical degree in school. So now that you have a quick overview of the Chilean culture, let's take a closer look at the cultural factors that might impact your classroom if you have a student from Chile. Chileans have a much closer social space than Americans do, so in conversation, students may be closer to you in proximity. Chileans do prefer direct eye contact because they see this as a sense of honesty and trust. However, if you're invited to a Chilean social event, you should go about half an hour late because it's considered rude to be on time. Also in conversation, Chileans will often interrupt without realizing it because in their culture, it's customary to show a high level of interest to the speaker more than waiting for natural pauses, as we're taught in the U.S. Another social impact that can influence the classroom is the fact that Chileans tend to have a relaxed home environment. Because they eat later, socialize more, and spend a great deal of time with family, bedtimes for children aren't strictly enforced. Chilean families tend to pamper their children and do not explicitly teach independence as American parents do. The family unit is held in higher regard, and often aging parents live with their children and grandchildren under the same roof. It's also common for other family members to live together too, and for grown children to still live at home until they can provide for themselves. Knowing about your student's culture can help you provide a more culturally responsive learning environment, but before a teacher can truly understand, appreciate, and value students' diverse cultures, they must be aware of their own. Educators and all stakeholders must also advocate the importance of reaching and maintaining bilingualism. There are multiple benefits of bilingualism for our students. For example, bilingualism has been shown to promote open-mindedness, provide different perspectives, provide more career opportunities, increase social mobility, and problem-solving skills, but most importantly, help bridge cultures together. In addition, providing a research-based ELL program and instruction are equally important for English language learners' academic success. An effective program should include language objectives, building background, comprehensible input, explicit teaching of learning strategies, along with valid, reliable, and authentic assessment. In addition, teachers should use technology to promote inquiry-based learning, encourage higher-level thinking skills, maintain high expectations for all students, and the rigor for appropriate grade-level content. Continue to provide interaction opportunities in all four language domains: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Two final tips for becoming a culturally responsive teacher would be continue to build a sense of community and develop those most important home and school partnerships. So to sum it all up, effective teaching and learning occur in a culturally supported, learner-centered context whereby the strengths of students bring to school are identified, nurtured, and utilized to promote student achievement. For more information on culturally responsive teaching in Chile, check out the links and resources at the end of this presentation. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the photos.